Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason program is not showing my face, and I hope it is, because if it isn't, it is going to be very bad. That is showing the waiting screen. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I'm Sino. I'm going to be here hosting the Controller Cup Grand Final. We're going to have GA, the Frenchies, as the attackers for the first round on attack, and the secondaries will be Aspire on defense. Now, if you are wondering what our map pool is looking like for the day, for a best out of 5 series, it means you're stuck with me for a little bit longer than usual. So this is what the list is going to be looking like. Let me get my face out the way shortly, and I will show you guys the map vetoes after our map trailer, ladies and gentlemanos. Now, as we do transition into the bans, we're just going to slowly talk about what we think is going to go on this game. So, with the map vetoes I was talking about, we're going to be looking at the current map states of the game, which is going to be Consulate, Cafe. I don't know why it's inverted. It should be Cafe, then Consulate, alongside with Nighthaven, Lair, and Bank as our decider map if we do go to all 5 maps. So I think we're going to be in for a amazing game, and this should be the game that gives us that passion and that excitement that we've all been waiting for. Now, it is my first time casting this, so it shouldn't be too shabby in my opinion. Now, it is a console league. I am doing this off a PC, so if there are any stutters, I do apologize for that on the terms of my PC being a shitbox. We're upgrading the GPU the second I can get my hands on that 50 series GPU. Get your predictions in. The polls we're looking at today is going to be, let's see. We're seeing majority in the toll for 5-3 in the terms of GA. I don't know why it's not showing up on the stream, but they have it going into their favor. Hopefully they can back it up by taking it home today. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, because why waste the time when we can just speak on how people are going to be cooking this game. As we move into our first site, we're going to see Third Floor Cocktail and Bar as our first site with no Mira, as she does eat a ban, which is going to be very concerning on how they're going to want to set it up. That site is crucial and detrimental to have a Mira on. Bear with me here, guys, for a minute, as we do have technical difficulties. My controller is not reading for some reason. While they set up, I will be back with you guys shortly in a second. There we go. With my controller trying to piss me off and stop us from getting into this game, we're going to be in a very good position to start. We're gonna see, for some reason, an Asgard player on GA. Well, they're all goddamn French, so what's the difference? Seeing the bar set up, we're going to see no Mira incorporated, so that probably means we're going to need to have that stream and the shield facing into Cigar, which we will have to prevent anybody coming in from the grand piano or anywhere else. First pick of the game, ladies and gentlemen, and of the series, bonks onto Clayton's head. The first headshot is onto the only Asgardian player on GA, and Carol does get down but survives and lives to tell the story by receiving a stim. He's back up to 100 HP like nothing happened. Defenders are in a spot where all they gotta do now is just reset. early engagements. Carol's being a little aggressive here, but we're seeing teams come in from all over Europe, as we're seeing Shinji coming in from WIT, or WIT, whatever you like to call him. I know it's a bunch of German bunks eating the Goyo Volcan flames to rotate, get his health back up, and rotates back into sight like nothing even happened. And this Doc's actually been very crucial so far, and we're going to see a Cigar hold and a Cigar push for right now. Clearing the corners, looking for the guys in bitch corner. Volcan being popped means it is not possible for him to be in the bitch corner. First floor as Rotero charge does get used onto the bar, and we are seeing crucial gunfights, and you do have Yasuke pulling off the person from Cigar Shot, using the floor as drone to push him back and taking his head off of his body. And the second one will now be the person on the shield. That's the next objective now for the attackers. All that they've managed to balance it all out. Opening it all up. Easy gunfight here. And Rixie lives to see another day. Almost getting his head chopped off, but Carol right back down to his HP from the beginning of the round. He is at 5 HP, and there's a minute left, and the gunfights are all coming through. That shotgun is just not contestable. And Scripps takes out Yasuke. No more Heart Breacher. Get rid of the jammer, and you're still going to be able to open up the breach. Nasty headshot by Carol. He's still getting aggressive. He lands a headshot. Even on 5 HP, he's still deadly. Caster player, doesn't matter. He can do anything. And you have the last attacker, Atox, left in a world, in a pool of Aspire players. Takes one out. Can he find the rest of them? As he's getting them, they're all circling like sharks. But he knows where he's coming from. That is called game sense, knowing they're coming in from Cigar. Getting close, but Carol, using the knowledge of his shotgun, swinging out, landing the kill, and the first round is in the hand of the Aspire players. That's a beautiful round so far, and we're off to a great start. What a round. What a round. Moving in, they're fast when it comes to just getting in the building and getting things done. Now, I do think the way they be playing around the site also contributes to being able to win these rounds. We saw that first pick onto the windows, onto the Striker, was massive. The Striker offers so much more utility than people realize, and that's why we're seeing him being brought more and more into the Pro League scene. We are going to see Mozzie on the board to get rid of the pests. Those pesky little drones, when they come in through, are going to be crucial, and they're beautiful to use for roaming. Mozzie also underrated, but mainly on console. Moving on to the next round, we're going to see Mozzie looking to get a little aggressive here. Maybe looking for a spawn peek. We know Banks is looking for one, but there's no one there, sadly. And the Blitz will run on over to Bakery looking for a main clear. Is this going to be a swarm play? They only have to get rid of the Doc, but he has the rotate, so the verticality is necessary. First Volcan canister does get popped out very early into the round. No castle, no risky reinforcements provides any attacker to just walk in. Atox hitting himself, or letting the Finka hit him with a frag, a little concerning, but it's all right. Using that utility to find him, using the lion skins as well. Frag grenades are going to come in as well, and Doc is going to be put in a situation where he's put an L. He has to run or take a gunfight, and it looks like he's going to take a gunfight and live to see another day. You see Blitz running through, has Mozzie clamped down. Can he get the first pick? Mozzie manages to survive, and Blitz is too far up. Tries to bust a 180 and goes down. What the hell was that? Banks gets one on the Sinzo. Tom goes down. Mira manages, or not Mira, sorry, Vector from the Goyo manages to land onto Yasuke, and it is a 1v5. From a 1v4 last round to a 1v5, are we going to see a flawless? The first pick from last round to being the last person alive is put in a situation where he's just getting absolutely ran amok. Aspire's just absolutely running people down. This is one of the quickest rounds I've ever seen in my life. C4, pre-placed, misclick, nothing there. Gets one kill into Capcan. At least it's not going to be a flawless round. Rixie taking damage from the Volcan canisters. And speak of the Volcan canisters, the man who puts him down himself lands a headshot and gives the second round to Aspire. Nutty little quick peek. What a shot. What a round. Interesting couple of rounds so far. I did not think it was going to be that aggressive so fast. We've seen very early engagements on into the round, and it was something that we had to speak about because of how fast they managed to get shit done. They were in the building within 5 seconds. They were taking early gunfights into Bakery. In the dock, just got up, swung out, and that's how it worked. Blitz ate some of the Goyo's Vulcan ticks, walked in through Small Bake, almost got the gunfight, but busting that 180 really got him killed. He should have backed away slowly, but it doesn't play when you have the head holes come in from the castle. So, we're going to go on to Reading Room next, and we're going to hope that GA can manage to put themselves on the board because they're losing bodies, and they're losing bodies fast. Most players will be on site with the second all, and with the exception of the Warden actually being downstairs. Warden roaming is a little odd, but let's see it. Not shooting the radio, so we're gonna have a little bit of music to entertain us, and we're gonna see SINOTWTCH try to get a lucky kill here for anybody trying to play on Pillar. We're a minute in, and so far we've gotten the cigar breach open, not reinforced, as Tom is going to use a shotgun to get it open. Carol, Castle is not going to be placed upstairs. I actually wonder, he's ran it on this freezer. He hasn't put it in the bitch corner. He's probably committed all of them to downstairs. Castles are coming into a little bit of an interesting place, but Banks, again, most of these gunfights have been to people's backs, and he actually almost perishes to this Goyo, but luckily lives to see another day. But he is below 50 HP, making it a little bit harder to win a gunfight. It's going to be him versus the Striker as the initial gunfight. Pops the Goyo to ensure the acceleration of the attack gets slowed down a little bit, and that's smart on the use of utility. Does have the option to walk in through Cigar, and will do so indeed if he doesn't clarify up the rotate. Trying to eat it. Goyos don't stop him as he lands a headshot onto a quick peek onto the Cigar bitch. Nice little headshot, and we're 1 minute 20 seconds in, and C4 miscalculated, and punishes the price. Wow! Sticks his face up the C4 hole he just made. He paid the price. Where is Grim going? Nobody knows. SINOTWTCH gets fragged out. Tom gets taken out. Rixie for the refrag. Trade by Carol to 2v1. And that is the first round with Clayan and Sinzo there to lock it in. The Asgardian and the GA man himself. The Frenchies take it for their first round. Wow, that was a beautiful round by both teams. Engagements all over the map, and it paid off indeed as they were just winning every gunfight. Moving on to our next round, the objective rotation parameters unlock upstairs, 3rd floor for us. Now, we are going to see this site again. This was one of the most volatile sites we've seen so far today. We've seen early engagements land in very early headshots, and that doesn't work in their benefit. Now, we are going to see a walk rotate into bathroom. It's going to be a little concerning. I'm going to want to see how they're going to play it. Double reinforced off into the bathroom, considering they don't have a Mira. Again, very plausible. And I'm going to assume they would have brought a shield if they had the space in the roster for one, but they don't, so they're still going to resort to having the head holes in Cigar, but with no shield this time around. Carol on the traditional Malusi to deny that walk-in paired up with the Goyo, and multiple guns that they are very comfortable on. Carol is no stranger to the MP5, and all he does is hit headshots with it. Banks again looking for a run out. It doesn't matter what operator he is, and he actually has some plausible cause to run out, or he's going to wait for somebody to rappel up and get punished. Capital looks like he's going to be that person, but he mistimes it, and he fortunately lives to see another day. All the defenders are all quiet on the western front. Nothing much to do right now, except for just wait for the attackers to try to get an initial push going. SINOTWTCH cheer. I'm not allowed to interact with the chat during a cast, but that's a valid chair right there.
Cheer one, cheer one, cheer
You're the
one,
best,
cheer
Simon.
One, cheer 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 one,
Oh my God.
cheer one,
Oh my God, Simon. I should probably turn that off.
Cheer one, cheer one, cheer one, cheer one, cheer one, cheer one.
Oh my God, what is going on? I guess I have to be more passionate now. Early engagement coming in from the Malusi. Love you, Simon. You're the best, bro. Early engagement's coming on from Carol. He's going to be waiting. Zero has been utilized, and that is the operator that needs to be brought from now on. Nobody utilizes Zero, and they need to start bringing them for the amount of cameras. They need to clear all the operators. They've taken full control of Ticket, and we're going to see very early on engagements, but they're completely unaware that there's a man on the roam. Atox gets the first kill below onto said roamer, and Mozzie will go down with C4 in hand. We're going to see Atox with the controller pillar now, punishing anybody who crosses from heaven. He will play Ver on connector. Carol getting his first pick and has an easy stim coming in from the dock. But Scripps also gets another kill, but trades out. Sinzo gets one. It seems like as I switch, everybody gets a kill themselves. Punishing off cocktails, and it's now a very easy plant if they manage to walk in. No C4 in from the mute. Nobody's sitting close on the cocktails, and they're all bunched up now in tickets. Sinzo, again, a double on. Might get a quad. Sinzo, what just happened? Mute gets pinched beautifully. Sinzo pushes him back, and they just walked right into him. Champ on both PC and console. If that's not Aura, I don't know what is. Moving back upstairs, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting round. We're going to see the same thing, but I'm going to guess they're going to prioritize the shield now as Frost has been brought to the roster. And they got to hold it better. Mute did a perfect job of keeping it held down, but not shooting off the ace charges from bitch corner while they still had the chance. Did pay the price consequently. And that led to the demise of the round loss. It's now 2-all. Learning from his mistakes, just as I did. Apparently, the Blue Yetis automatically mute themselves when there's this time space where it's your mic's not on. Stupid bullshit, but we do see the Malusi on Ticket getting shot out first. Air jab does get put on to the bitch corner door, so nobody can just walk out and swing you when you're trying to get that breach. The shield does get burned as it is not protected by OMI or a Jaeger, and Ace gets to use his charges. No bueno, but there's no EMPs except for Clayin, who is just droning out. He is the person needed to get these breaches open, and he might be able to if he can just land it from the rappel. No punch hole from Carol over here. He's just gonna go for the element of surprise as early engagements are all flying in through, and Carol all holding it down on the western front. Popping the first Goyo. First gunshots do come in from Rixie. He gets one. We might see the second death here as the C4 does connect. It's a 3v5. Nomad goes down. Yasuke goes down sooner to Carol. It's just absolute mayhem all over the map. Again, a 1v5. It's like the site gives them superpowers. Carol managing to avoid very well. Clayin managing to avoid the flawless round, but doesn't matter when the case is down and you have 50 seconds to find 4 bodies. Carol knows. Clayin not checking the corner. It pays. It pays to check your fundamentals, and that's being your corners, and he doesn't do so indeed. And that's the round confirmed for Aspire. They've taken the lead once again. I appreciate all the follows. You guys are all the best. Moving on, we go right back down to Kitchen. This was one of the best sights we've seen from them. They managed to hold down Bakery perfectly. They had a swarm coming in from the Lion Scans, the Frag Grenades, and the Finka pressuring them alongside with the Blitz, and they managed to just isolate the ones, which was either a problem coming in from GA, or it was just how good Aspire's holds are. We're going to see it yet once again. No Jaeger and no Doc like the last time, so we might see Utility get utilized more. Moving on, we're going to see the deployable shield, which is a new addition. Last time we seen the Dog hold it just behind the bar with the protections of the ADSs, but now we're going to see barbed wire and the shield from the Echo. They took out the Frost. They switched her out. Sixth pick did get used, and now we're going to see all of the attackers going from a backside take and maybe do a top down. Blitz being your main roam clear. He's outside in terrace and might be able to get a nice little pillar clear going before they get anything done. Seeing one roamer being the Capcan, might be able to get a good run out here, but he is heard by the IQ, I would guess. If he ran out, he had two very easy kills there, but he knows there's better pastures. He's stuck now on white. First C4 kill gets tossed out. That's Shinji on one. Yasuke on the refrag. Shinji again to get the second. It's a 3v4. Hard Breacher is now gone for the gridlock and almost a refrag as we've seen the IQ drop, but giving it up very easily and getting rid of the element of surprise by using that 552 commando to let them know exactly where she's coming in from. Echo playing behind Whiskey. There's not much you can do except for relax. The Hard Breach is already gone. Yes, there's no castle, which does allow the attackers to make more progression and faster, but there's a C4, 3 Toxic Babes, and Capcan scattered around the map so far. The attackers are now forced to isolate and push one direct area as you have a shield off, which is down a fully automatic gun. Getting red pinged into coat check forces him in a position where he's gonna have to isolate, and this is where you want the Frost, so Blitz just doesn't fly through the door and take you out. A little bit of a ring around the rosy, but it is Blitz. Sinzo eventually to win the gunfight. Klain gets a second, and it will be Blitz on the second, almost landing the pre-fire. He's calling out there's one in prep. The second's deep in B site, and it's very easy right here to isolate and attack. Smoke hasn't used any of the Toxic Babes yet, not far enough, and he's not close enough in range to be able to use them without overpeaking and losing his life. 50 seconds left on the clock, and there's not much the defenders can do except for hope for the best and isolate a gunfight and hope somebody makes a mistake. Buck has the hatch open, making it even easier to clear the Capcan and just go for a plant. Drones are not within the vicinity and are not a realistic outcome to be able to get something done. Capcan still sitting near on the B chassis. They know they need to get aggressive here to be able to find a pick. Blitz saving the life potentially of the IQ, pre-firing something, and it's a double kill for Atox as he just drops the hatch and gets those picks and mauls in from within. 3-3. What was looking like a very one-sided game in the beginning has now flipped over, and now we are going to see the switch on over from attack to defense for Aspire and GA. Seems like nobody wants to go that mid-floor. They're relaxed, they're back upstairs, and we're going to see the same staple operators, which a bit of changes. We're going to see Klain on Scopos. Scopos, not a very conventional pick, but people can mold her to very good attacks and very good defenses as well. Both teams going and opting for the same setup for Cap A. for the bathroom area, double reinforcing the wall, making a walk rotate, and reinforcing the close, with the exception of having the right side open with no shield this time. We've seen what happens when you don't bring a shield. Hopefully they don't make that same mistake. All quiet on the western front. Nothing to talk about here. Atox does have a Goyo in the pocket. Shame on you, Atox. Put that Goyo down. Utilize some of that utility. But he will not. And so far, we're going to have scripts surrounding the new balcony hatch. Looking for any easy picks onto Cigar. Anybody sitting close on the bitch corner. The first Scopos drone does get caught out, meaning they know there is a Scopos, but not the exact whereabouts. Clayton is just on the roam, on the fritz, and around the map. And right now, we're just going to see the main works being done. Getting breaches open, tossing C4s at the skylights, and hoping for the best. No Capit's out to flush anybody out that white window, but Scopos dealing so much damage to herself on the impact to commit to that run out. And it is a connection as he does get a kill, and it lands. First kill, Clan just goes back to site, back at 100 HP because it is a robot. Vex manages to get a kill with a Flores drone. I don't know how the hell that just happened, and I don't even want to speak about it because it's just embarrassing. Bounce is put in a position where he has to find people, and all they have to do now is just play their gun skill. You've used most of your utility. Ace has used his Selmas to get into Cigar. Will use the secondaries to try to go in for bathroom. Bunks has used all 4 of the Rotero charges to clear. Goy almost getting his head chopped off, almost walking into the pre-fire, but the first flash will push him off and immobilize him for a couple of seconds. Swings out into the flash, and Atox has been immobilized for the rest of the round. Warden taking his spot, putting in a position where he's just swinging off heaven. Gets one. Sinzo, you're the last hope for this team, as Carol is just punishing everybody who swings. Double flank from Clay. It's a triple kill, and he's relaxed now back into Cigar. And Scripps needs to isolate either the guy walking up on him, Bolo, and the shotgun is something you cannot oppose. And he learns that the hard way, as that is 4-3, and that's the first time GA has taken the lead this series. It's a passionate game. It's beautiful shots from both teams. We go back downstairs. Apparently these teams, something I do realize on console versus when I cast on PC, is a lot of teams on console just don't like to utilize the reading room site. This is potentially one of the best sites in the game. You have protection from the hallways, you can rat in corners as a defender, and you have verticality. Now, yes, you can lose it, but you lose it automatically if you're not committed to it. We're going to see, though, aside from the topic, the basement hold into the freezer. They're going to see the feed holes slash dyslexic rotate on the left side of the freezer breach, and the defender will be setting up the external wall to be able to get an easy hold. Now, I'm not seeing the shield for the long haul, making it a little bit harder to get it done, but without being said, it is GA. They do manage to get things done. And Clayton almost landing one of the fastest spawn peaks. 8 seconds in, it would have been one to talk about, as it was the Ace who almost had his head chopped off. No castle this time around, but the freezer hold is going to be something that will be utilized because they need to get it held down. Using it makes the Ace, second question, the use of his Selmas, and you waste so much more time with the attackers. Candelas are going to be used onto this Valk, and it might be a perfect flash if he can land it. FNAT also sitting close to something we didn't realize, and Valk is getting triple droned right now. Bunk's waiting for the comm to send in the Candelas, but since she's gotten a recent nerf, there is a fuse charge. FNAT does get used. She does get full blinded. Carol getting hit by the FNAT. Yasuke also getting hit by the FNAT. It's absolute dreadful as Ying is trying to do something here, but she's already used most of her Candelas to no avail. But Valk does luckily back up into his bullets, making the use of all 4 Candelas useful. But if she does hop in, she'll take effect to the FNATs. Early gunfights onto Freezer. Yasuke getting pushed off, and they know exactly where he is, but they're gonna push in for sight as one's already in Freezer. Gets 1 kill. Can he find the second? It's a shotgun. Almost manages to make it work, but doesn't. Carol goes down soon after, and Clayton is put in a 1v4 situation where you have to isolate the ones, and he's doing that perfectly. It's a 1v2. Can he make it a 1v1? He knows he needs to res, and he's gonna do that because they need to get that case into the ace's hands, because with no ace, no case, and no trace. Now, Dokkaebi Call does get used, and Clayton is pre-firing, waiting for somebody to just walk in the cross, but Jiggle peeking is going to be the name of the game, as it's a very easy plant. There's nothing to be needed to be done here. If there was somebody who needed to get aggressive, it was Clayton a couple of seconds ago, but the guy's crosshair placement's just too good. 2 HP on 2 operators that have 100 is an idea that kind of sucks to deal with. Rotates not even jump, and he does need to rush, and he knows the time he has is limited. Could try to stick here if he gets those goos down, but they do hear it. He's going to be waiting for it. Dokkaebi trying to run at him, and he might be able to make this a 1v1 if he wins this gunfight. 1 HP, and the guy has so much map knowledge. It's working beautifully, but not beautifully enough where it'll win him the round. And what was a good try and a good effort leads to a round loss for all. This game is head-to-head, and this is exactly what you want to see in a grand final. Moving back, we go right back downstairs. It was a close effort. They have to hold it better, and they do bring a warden to oppose that Ying. The Ying really wedged in a problem for anybody trying to rotate out, and Valk unluckily just walked into the back of her bullets. But again, having those Candelas was an absolute nightmare for the attackers and for the defenders. Flash your own teammates, but also managed to flash 3 of the defenders, and that worked out in their favor as they got control of Christmas very fast. First spawn peek comes in from Clay, and we haven't seen a spawn peek connect in a couple of rounds, and finally we see that first kill, and he sacrifices it, not placing 2 of his Goyos. Tisk tisk, Mr. Asgard, but does it really matter? You've gotten the kill, you've taken out the ace, the heart breacher, the crucial person, and now you don't have to worry about anything for the rest of the round. They do know there is an FNAT on the board. They need to find these Fenrir's. They got punished by it last time by not droning it clearly, and they lost majority. Brava is banned, so you can't hack them. You're going to have to sacrifice that Twitch, and you're going to have all of the defenders rotate back into sight, because guess what? All that is needed to be done. Keep Freezer held down. Win your gunfights, and it's round confirmed. It's round over. Mute looking for some verticality here. I mean, with all fairness, if Ram does get onto the grounds, it will be a game of hot lava, as there's 2 C4s to dance around with and a shotgun if they decide to start floor banging. Pre-placed right next to the hatch. Anybody trying to open it with a can opener gets deleted. Anybody with a lawnmower gets deleted. Seems like we're going to see the first engagement coming in down from Whiskey. Ward is not facing, but do they know Fenrir is in Whiskey? Backing up is a smart thing to do, as Fenrir is going to run away, but there's a 3rd person in Whiskey. There's 3 complete bodies dedicated to clearing this out. Rixie taking some damage, don't know from what exactly. But there's 49 seconds left, and they're at a little bit of a stalemate where they don't know what to do here. And ATOC still getting aggressive for some reason when they have the man advantage. But shotguns galore, C4s, some Goyos are still up, and the FNATs being on the board is going to be a little difficult for the attackers to try to push in. And we're seeing most of them here just trying to get lucky with an angle. Seeing Fenrir cross was a very potential kill. ATOC is playing a little more aggressive than necessary, but almost paying the price, but doesn't indeed. You're gonna have Warden sitting in the prep corner and might fall to Vert, but he's protected and makes himself known and is going to be put in an area where he has to start swinging. Bunks gets the first for the defenders, boiling down to the first 10 seconds. Clayan gets one, Clayan gets two on a triple kill. Can he find the third? But it's absolute madness. And the last one's upstairs. Clayan from the power position in small bake gets the quad kill. The guy's an absolute powerhouse, dropping 13 and 3, and we seem to be approaching the end of the round. Apparently, every time I switch off somebody, they get a spawn peek, but it is what it is. We go right back upstairs. Seems like this is a safe haven for any operator in various sites. I don't think we've seen this site lost, with the exception of that side where we've seen himself, Clayan and Sinzo, just relax on the Heaven and Cocktail windows and just get picks from here on out. That's the only round we've seen lose, and that was nearly 6 rounds ago. It's something to take note of, how both teams are just committed to keeping the bodies up and getting things done. They do bring very identical setups now, with the exception of seeing a sentry with a shotgun and having the shield buried in Ticket. It's a little different, but I'm kind of concerned and kind of intrigued to see how it's going to work out. Setting in the first Rotero that already preliminary gets hit by the mute jammer. It's going to be a pain to deal with later in the round if they don't find the jammers. But speaking of jammers, the second one runs out of its fuse time and the Rotero drones are going to get used. But there's 2 been used and they haven't been able to find any type of utility because of how pesky these jammers are. Manages to shoot the... That was beautiful. He managed to shoot before it locked in and got rid of the castle and the shield, which he doesn't seem to be prioritizing, which is a problem. And the last Flores drone does get mute jammered. Not the last. He had 2 a second ago, and apparently it was a visual bug. Sinzo needs to shoot it, and he manages to get it, keeping his shield and diabolical setup a thing for the rest of the round now. Clayan doesn't know it yet, but might be the lifesaver for the ace. He might look like he's going to go for the run out again. We're going to see run outs again. Aspire's going to get one, but gets one on the run out. And no, he doesn't. He misses. He's at 1 HP and the plant's going down. Absolute mayhem in the site, and it's just gunfights everywhere. Mute putting on pallets. There's nothing he can do here. They give him the site, and it's just going to be a Heaven gunfight with one of them sitting near bathroom. Mute's gonna go for the diffuser, but he's completely unaware there's a guy behind him. He wins the gunfight and shuts him down. An ace at 5 HP, needing to drop down from the skylight, and they shut him down. 5 HP on New Balk, and he's taken out. Wow, what an adjustment. Wow, I thought that was confirmed game over, but they gave up the power positions on the window, and it's himself, Yasuke, to manage to clean it out. Shitting on that Grim was the only round and the only pick that we've seen one pick be the complete decider. Losing that power position in Heaven and on the windows, that decides the round. And a quick adjustment from the Doc and the Wamai, Clayan, and Sinzo coming up is a perfect display on how you should be playing post plants. And they take the lead on a double differential now to take us to match point. As I was speaking about this site before, we're going to have Reading Room as our first and maybe our potential last. we're going to see Sinzo on Goyo. It's either Sinzo or Clay. We've seen both times play very aggressive with this gun. And it's just been so aggressive from them in general. All they do is just swing, swing, and swing, and it's been working in their favor. We're going to see for the first time this game a pulse pick. And I think it's going to be a little interesting, as if they do lose that verticality, they're going to have that backup being that C4 from below. Clay a little late to his setup. 2 castles left to get down, but this is looking much more promising than the last time around where we seen Aspire hold it. Looked like they were struggling with the setup, but they've managed to perfect it. Goyos now are put in pesky areas. Try to open up. Cigar, you're gonna eat a Volcan. Try to drop, you're gonna eat a Volcan. It's all about, though, can they drop before they can shoot them out? Now, they do know there's a pulse. Very, very preemptive droning. They've managed to take an axe and find exactly where he is. But what are you going to do to stop him is the question. Once C4 does get used, that is Yasuke's C4 gone. First engagement is going to be on from Scripps. A wallbang in the Cigar. And Rixie has dropped the Skylight. Well, that's the defense. Oh, completely gone. You've lost Sinzo and Yasuke in a matter of a minute. Backup being your Fenrir. Might be able to catch you off guard, but wow, what a blunder from Tom. Lands the hit finally onto the Fenrir, and Tom is going to be the one in the engagements upstairs. Drops the hatch and completely leaves it up to the rest of his team. Early engagement on Twitch, gets one tap. Clay, head no head, 6 feet under, swiper no swiper, and the second does come in from Tom. Trying to walk down pillar. The comm does go out that this guy walking down is white. Is he going to land the C4? No connection and no bueno. And now you have that wedge position coming in from Tom. Has a very easy flank position down, but seeing your teammate lose her body is very crucial when you have this position, forcing you to come back to site. He knows it because of the guy in the supply closet, but can't flank faster enough. And first gunfight, he wins one. Can he win the second? Carol's at 5 HP. Can he win it? So close, but no bueno. As the strike of the gun, the M4 is just too powerful to be able to win it. Little bit of twinkle toes with the aim, but they managed to successfully land the bullets to send them to 6-5. One more round, we're gonna go on to OT. Very close indeed. We thought if the Fenrir just wedged himself a little faster, he would have been able to do it. There was no verticality watching on to the ace plant, so if he went for the flank, was very highly likely he would land a headshot and get the flank done and win them the game. But losing the bodies too fast, Pulse losing the gunfight, you cannot swing the AK-12 with probably the damn slowest gun in the game, but he does, and he paid the price for it. We're gonna see downstairs again. Won once, lost once. Let's see how they're gonna hold it out. Moving on, this might be our longest map. It's all about, can you preserve and persevere through the mental chalks? The 5-minute breaks we take in between games is usually where it all goes to hell. It's where people forget they're a team and they don't lock in. So this might be either our longest game or our shortest game we're gonna see in overtime every game. But with the prioritization of Aspire, they don't want to lose, and I've seen it. They love winning. Nobody likes to lose, but Clay is not here to take any decisions up to the other team as he just goes out for a run out and lands the headshot onto Gridlock Scripps. That's a crucial kill for the flank watch. nonchalantly goes back to barricade it like nothing ever happened. And we're 2 minutes left into the round, and they've lost again a very crucial person. Clay, the absolute powerhouse we've seen today. The guy's absolutely on fire with 16 kills next to his name. And Ash is trying to spear entry down. She's driven a wedge through the attack. I don't think a single defender knows she's here except for the Goyo, who's gonna swing and lose the gunfight, gets the even, and gets out of there. That's how you're supposed to play Frag, and that's how you're supposed to play Ash. Starts playing Vert now like nothing ever happened. C4s galore as there's 3 on the board. All manual breach charges have been used by the Ash, and she's gonna look like she wants to go right back down for it, but nobody decides to pop the Volcan canister. Looking like everybody's rotating over for a bake over it. That does force Warden out of his position unless they can manage to EMP the jammer. They shoot it out before anybody can try to EMP it, and Monty's not even running them. Rixie does have the EMPs. Turn around, Kaid. Kaid, turn around, and he forces himself out. He actually just runs away, and it will be a position where it's going to be straight gunfights, and Sinzo's going to land a headshot onto Bonks. It's going to be the second engagement here. Is he going to be able to win it? No, because Rixie's too good with it. C4 needs to be used. Warden getting pinched. He gets one. Can he find the second as the goddamn Monty starts to get close? It's no bueno to 2v2, and the Fenrir is looking for the Dokkaebi. You just need to take out the player with the fully automatic, and it's the game over. You do have full control of the site, though, but you do have to deal with a C4 mute in a powerhouse position. If he doesn't get taken out, it's absolutely over here. Goes for a plant. He's C4'd. He's gone. He's dead. He's no bueno. Miscalculates where to throw the C4. It's a blunder, but the Monty's there to make up for it. Why are you swinging, Yasuke? It's a 1v1. Bandit, you just need to run. But what are you doing? Fenrir, Atox manages to barely cinch on and get them that win that was desperately needed. Now, what a game, as it barely goes into the favor of GA, and I say congratulations to them. Wow, that was a little anticipating there. Oh my days, ladies and gentlemen. How about that as your first game of the series? And the first game is in the favor of GA. And who else? As we're going to send our next game on to Skyscraper. That's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with for both teams, as it's just a horrible map to deal with. And ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to say we will be back after a 5-minute break. Ads do get ran in the break, so just tab out, tab back in, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. ladies and gentlemen, as we are back so soon. Did you guys miss me? I know I missed me. We're going to move on to Skyscraper. We're going to see GA defend first. It's going to be a great game, as they've shown us why they're here for the first round. Let's see why they're here for the second. And without further ado, let's get on to our map intro. Let's be right back. If it could transition. Now, I do think that game was an absolute beauty of display. It was absolute cinema, as one team took the 3-0 advantage and they just blundered it from there. Now, I do think that shows us the quality of today's BO5, but it doesn't stop here. There's so many more maps left. 4 maps left if we do all 5, but it could end early if this is what's going to look like for the rest of the day. We are going to see defense first for the team who just took the first win. So it's not really in their favor, considering this map really sucks sometimes when you're defending it. So let's see how they're going to play it out. Belief in both teams as your defender bans are rolling in. Mira is going to be your first defender ban, with Grim and Blackbeard being your 2 attacking bans, and 10 seconds until we find out our last ban for the operators we cannot use. Kaid. That's an interesting ban. That is an interesting ban. I can't say I would understand why they would bring and ban a Kaid, but without further ado, he is going to be our bans, and we're going to move on to our first round into the second map of this BO5 series. Scopos, from only what I can imagine as an absolute troll pick. 2 of these operators I do question the picks on, being the morality of the Scopos and the Mozzie. Lot more operators that provide more useful utility, but again, to each their own, as they've taken the first round and they might be able to take it again. Holding upstairs means you need to know exactly where to keep it held down. Considering you only have 2 floors on this map, there's not much you can do to hold the attackers at bay. There's so many windows as well to catch people off guard. The runouts are absolutely immense, so it's a little bit of a goddamn chaos map for both teams if you don't know how to play it correctly. Extending into house and exhibition is a good start, though, reinforcing a 2 hard right wall so you can play behind the mini bar comfortably. Feet holes all across the exhibition wall allows nobody to cross, making it a no man's land, because if somebody crosses that, it's an instant kill, considering it is 2 walls and absolutely nowhere else to go except for right or left. Early wallbang almost just allowed the ace to get taken off the board within 30 seconds of the round. Scopos very deep into kitchen and very early on, as we see the Twitch wrap around. We're going to see very early gunfights here, and she might be able to land a wallbang here as he gets shot in the toenail and manages to recover himself. 4v4 as Tom gets one. Scripps gets the refrag, and the drones are so essential to get rid of. Spear entry is now dead, traded out for Yasuke. We're going to see the C4 now gone and sacrificed, but 1 more left on the board. And it is going to be arched over for an easy toss, but Mozzie is caught out before he can do what he wants to. And no connection. Gunfights really all over the map. They didn't set up black correctly. And nobody's on the balcony, but you're going to have 1 operator sitting bottom black, being the Dokkaebi, and everybody else is surrounding the surrounding areas, with the ace as the exception, trying to get this breach open. Asking one of his teammates to go in from below and get it done is something that is crucial, but might see Tom be able to capitalize off of this. But the jammer has been shot and the breach into Geisha has been opened. Three surrounding bodies are so committed to keeping this closed, but you're going to have Ace rotating onto the exhibition hall. Striker understanding where this gunfight's going to be and looking like they're going to take a late round house take. Checking the corners, it is crucial to find where you're coming in from. Shooting the goo mine does give away the position. Shield still up, facing into Terrace. Air jab does allow this shield to be completely left alone, but covered so much space already. Dokubi's already through. Carol gets one. Mozzie, or they're both using the commando. It's Sentry to get one. Can he find the second? No, he can't, because he gets shot in the back by Carol on the head holes. It's a 2v3. We're going to see another gunfight coming in from Scripps. This is looking like a completely different Aspire, but with the 16-man kill himself, who else would you want to be left in a 1v2? With the plant getting put down, it's all just a matter of holding. Trying to escape is the most crucial thing to do here, but Scripps calls it, finds him on the rotate, swings in close to the hall, and just calls it a day. First round does go towards Aspire, and this is what I mean. You just need to get rid of utility, and it's anybody's map to get done. GA still having the first game on their hands allows them to have a little bit of a safety net, but nobody wants to have an easy game, a hard-fought game, and then just get absolutely ran through on their second map. We go to the same site. There's only one place you can really go without getting screwed over, and it is going to be the tea room site. Exhibition's a beautiful site, but with Mira staying off the board, verticality is an inevitable thing to deal with. You don't have your main roamers, being that you don't have Kai to help keep the walls closed. You have to keep your defenders inside to try to collaboratively get that wall closed, and you need roamers, because if they bring a buck, that floor is like the floor is lava. Look at the amount of wooden floors around this map. The A site and the B site are completely soft, making it impossible to plant on without having C4s under. This is not KG League, this is the Controller Cup. Early exhibition gunfights are going to be Tom versus everybody trying to clear him out. No feed holes this time. Not going to play in his favor. Almost being able to clear in his favor. If he shot that 5 seconds earlier, there would have been a kill. Three bodies are committed to this. I can only imagine what a C4 would do in this situation. First engagement does go into the favor of Bunks. Two in the favor of Bunks. I switch off for 1 second. 1 second he's prone on the ground, and the second he's mauling it up from within. Gets one, gets two, and it's a 3v5 very, very fast. The Commando bears no chance to deal with the R4C. Mozzie going for it, almost losing his life, but only having 26 bullets in the gun is not the best. T4 landing on the doorstep doesn't deal damage, but it does push him off, and that's sometimes just exactly what you need when you have the attackers pushing in from Black, pushing in from T-Room, and pushing in from Exhibition. They're knocking at the front doorsteps of sight. And do you know he's in the corner? Yes, you do. Bunks cannot react fast enough. He gets one, he gets two. Can he find the second? Ash, that's crosshair placement. Clay looks like he's about to drop another 16, as all he does is just swing in, and it always works into his favor. But Nomad finding him. He shot the drum, and that played in favor as the attackers are banging on his drum and going for the kill. Yasuke left in the corner. He's left in a world of hurt, but the crosshair placement of the ace is an easy kill. And Atox gets deleted by Carol, and they're walking in, going for it. Yasuke seems like he can't even win the gunfight on the guy in black. And that's a down. Wants to kill. It's absolute stuns everywhere, and he's Fenrir'd, but what's worse, an FNAT or a stun, and we got the result. We're finally going to see them switch on over to Exhibition Room. It's the easiest site to hold once you have those walls successfully closed and you can play aggressiveness. The only thing about this map is you need to be aggressive, you need to find things in the corner, and you need to find where the players are. Now, I could say lock it down, but that just allows the attackers to cover so much more ground. We've seen when Bunks got aggressive and cleared exhibition, the defenders lost their grip on the site. Considering there's only 2 floors to hold, you have to keep a good amount of this site held down, and that means holding different sites. Now, you could hold 1 room or 2, but you have to extend out. You cannot just confine yourself to the spaces of the bomb chassis. I'll wait for the things to go down in the round. I appreciate all the follows. If you're watching us on YouTube and Twitch, I love you both. You guys all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Right now, it's seeming like we're either going to see a pick on the window or close up onto the site. Drones are going to be rushing all in from exhibition side. Nomad vaulting into what I can only assume is bottom black, and she's taking a good wedge and foothold. Ash already in the bathroom, and everyone else is committed to getting this breach open. Bandit's going to be the main to try to trick it off, but there's a thermite on the board instead, and you cannot drag on the feed holes like you can on Clubhouse. There's no easy repels here. You find a kill and you go for it. If you don't, you're dead. Nomad looking to clear the roamer, but there's no roamer here. There's nobody even in Tea Room, Black, Geisha, Tea Room, Terrace. Everything's clear right now. Where are the defenders? Nobody's roaming. Making that rotate now, keeping Dragon wedge down, but you don't have that wedge into Terrace, which could be a problem. Frostman just ate Carol. Nice. No breaches are going to get open as long as they don't confirm him. He's up, but he's immobilized until there's 20 seconds left into the round. Carol is put in a little bit of a sticky situation here, as he's the main case carrier. He's the one expected to get the plant down, but what's a planter if he can't run through smoke? Flash gets put into the front doorstep from house. That's a beautiful display on how to use it. And we're going to see the first gunfight go in the favor of Scripps' favor. 4v5. Punch hold, no connection as Clay uses his map knowledge to get a kill. And it's just absolute mayhem all over the site. This Maverick has still been on this window for the same amount of time. Nomad versus the Fenrir. It's going to be absolute gunfights. It's scenes everywhere because somebody needs to get aggressive here. And it's the Ash to take the Terrace and Dragon side. Getting deleted instantly. Now it's 2 attackers separated by 1 room. Gets floored down. And it's Nomad who gets 1. Can she find the second? Can she give them that clutch that is so desperately needed right now? And no, she can't. Sinzo wraps around to Dragon and takes her up as he had the case as well. Not much needed to be done here and takes it home. 1-2 in the first round for GA gets put on the board. Why not, Matt? I'd rather see a layer game than a skyscraper game. Why? Why would you pick this map out of everything is the question. Apparently people are psychopaths nowadays, so we're going to be seeing one of the worst Pro League maps known to man. And my chat is actually trolling me because what the fuck am I looking at? Do I drink bleach after seeing that? We've seen them struggle, and they haven't went for barbecue because they don't have Mira. It's going to be difficult to hold the first floor when you don't have majority of the operators that are needed, such as Cade and Mira, which is literally the 2 crucial ops. Not having Blackbeard or Grim, yes, it's a pain in the ass to deal with, but it's not going to make or break a round. Not having Kaid and Mira in the same lineup is definitely going to confirm the fatality of a round when you can't keep the hatches or keep one-way angles. Moving on in, the first engagement is going to be the sentry just relaxed in here. Tom waiting, throned, has a Goyo to back him up. That's going to prevent the Ying for the rest of the round for a good 40 seconds. If not, you're going to see 2 more attackers go in for the terrace. Warden has the minibar reinforced off, meaning nobody can walk in on him if he does go for it. You're going to have 3 defenders committed. That's 2 more than the last time. But the problem coming from GA is the drones they've dealt with. They do not shoot them. They do not deal with them fast enough. So hopefully they can get that done. But Nomad being outside alongside with the Ace. With the Ying as well, has 4 Candelas. But you have one of the only operators, if not the only defender, who can counter you, which is the Warden. You can see through them if they get deployed. Jaegers and Wimais are just a preemptive measure. Twitch being that wedge onto the Black Hall yet once again. Tom does not have a mute jammer to protect him from this Dokkaebi call, and they pop the House Goyo to stop anybody from walking up. The drones are being absolutely utilized here, and we're going to see an early engagement on here from Sinzo onto Bunks. He gets the first guy off of the minibar. Warden gets the refrag, but we do see Tom go down in the meanwhile. Ace gets taken out soon after, and it's a 4v2. That's how you hold Exhibition now. One is already in Terrace. He's taking heavy control. Rixie seems like they've done an Uno reverse on the site because he can go straight for it, but completely ignoring that there's 2 defenders behind him. And Sinzo deletes him on a triple kill. And Rixie seems like he just forgot how to play the game, and SINOTWTCH is the one to confirm out the round on a trade. It is going to be a 2-2 hold. Best of circumstances now for GA, looking like they were a little lost the first 2 rounds, have adapted to the push and the rigorous attacks from Aspire, has allowed them to tie it up now 2-2, and they can expect better attacks from now on because they're now starting to float. Now, they are forced to go downstairs. That kitchen site we were talking about earlier. They have no choice because there's only 4 essential sites here. So one of them doesn't even unlock until you win almost every site. Now, you have the chance to go either kitchen barbecue or go all the way over to the bedroom, which is probably the worst site in the map. One hatch that decides anybody hopping in. Areas you can plant in that are absolutely bricks. So if you lose control of the bathroom, there's a guaranteed site spot here if you just have players watching the cross. Barbecue, little bit more manageable, but very hard when you don't have the Mira and the castle in hand. Now, they've chosen not to bring the castle for downstairs, but they have brought him upstairs on the holds to find certain things. Or am I corrected? No, they've extended him beyond the site and not close. Usually you see him on this double and in this hallway, but that's not what we're going to see. Castle has been brought without his exponential duo being the Mira, and we're going to see Bandit committed upstairs. This is a little different, like what I like to usually see, but maybe this is what's going to help them win the round, and maybe this is how they're going to adapt to not having the Mira on the board. Early gunfights from Clay. Gets wallbanged, but it's going to be Ram isolated in gunfights, and we've seen what Bunks can do on the R4C. He doesn't get too aggressive too fast. Ash is going to be wrapping around in the perfect use of the Ramaya dash, and he still wins the gunfight. Gets picked off instantly, but that's a crucial gunfight. If it was the Ash getting picked off, I wouldn't be too excited, but you've just lost your main verticality player alongside with the person that'll watch your flanks. SINOTWTCH still committed to keeping the breaches closed. Carol is somewhere in Geisha, looking for something to get done here, but his drums wall literally just got banded off as we saw earlier. Gonna be a pain to deal with. You're gonna have players watching the vert on the walk-in, and it's absolutely dreadful for the attack. It's just a worst case scenario, and that's a perfect hold from GA. They've gotten those gunfights down. Oryx got aggressive where he needed to. Refrags came out perfectly, and it's just going to be early engagements that are going to decide. They play very aggressive, but it's Carol that deletes SINOTWTCH all the way deep into Geisha, and a breach charge downs. Yeah, wow. Gets down by a breach charge and fragged out, and now the tides have turned completely because of one singular breach charge. Castle, assuming the position of the now late Bandit, got wallbanged, taken off the board, but now you still have the castle to worry about. Legion's back in sight. All he has to do is kill one person, isolate the gunfights, get it done. That's crosshair placement, and that's patience. He knows what to do. Ace completely unaware, and Sinzo knows how to play the game. That's trigger discipline. gets the case down, takes out the person with the 3 Selmas, the person that could potentially be the most annoying. Not too much utility left from these attackers, but you just need to win your gunfights here. Could have dropped the hatch, finds him the second time around, and will drop it the second time around, and he's safe. Lands the damage needed as well. No C4s, but goo mines are still regenerating, and there's 20 seconds left where they've just now picked up the case. There's not enough projectile breaches to do anything, and the first goo mine gives away the first position of Rixie, and he needs to get that goo mine out. It's done 20 damage, and guess what? 20 damage means nothing when you're dead, and Sinzo lands the last shot. It's over. What the hell? Twitch thought she was in a Dude Perfect video and decides to pay the price for it. And that's the 3rd round in a row for GA. If they manage to win this round, they can double that differential and take it on over to attack, which I hope is going to be better because of how annoying the defenses have been so far. They haven't had the players needed to go for certain executes, and it's been showing. A little bit different on the Western Front. They're going to go back exhibition. It was a late round hold. It was a beautiful hold on both teams, but it eventually boiled down to the last 20 seconds where you had essentially 9 bodies alive with 20 seconds left on such a close quarters map. This is something that usually ends up in hell of gunfights, and that's what we see. That's what we've seen. We've seen a bunch of gunfights go down in a matter of 20 seconds. The round didn't end by time or diffuser, it ended by somebody getting swung. So this site was their best so far in terms of time to kill ratio. So let's see how they're gonna hold it the second time around. If this is their best site, that's the best condition they can have as they're gonna switch on to attack after this. Damage being dealt to Shinji. Why would you swing the man on Geisha? Trapped in a corner. He had one choice, and that one choice just doesn't help him. First map knowledge rule, ladies and gentlemen. Place your thermite on the very right wall, and no matter the reinforcement, it will blow up as collateral with the exothermic charge. Defenders need to make up for the space that Senzo was observing and holding, and now they've lost a certain area that's so crucial for the late round holds. But can we find a refrag? We need to find a refrag, and Scripps gets taken out by the Wamai on the black stairs. Yasuke soft roaming right now, and Carol's gonna look for the second round gunfight. They know exactly where he is, and Shinji goes down on the flank, or he tries to hop in, but Atox gets the long angle. There's 4 defenders committed to holding this angle, and it's going to be a nightmare for Carol to find. The right, left, down, up. There's nowhere you can go where you don't get shot in the head, and that's exactly what happens. Bunks gets taken out shortly after on the double kill for Atox, and it's Wamai sitting in the close corner of T-Room to get taken out, and now they've doubled their differential as they now move on to attack. What a round. They've doubled that differential. They've won 4 rounds in a row straight. If you don't want that, straight up, what else do you need? Looks like T-Room is going to be the main hold for us today. Going to be a little interesting considering we've seen both teams struggle with it. It's always boiled down to the last 10 seconds, and it's always boiled down to what I said earlier. Who can take control of the space needed? They assumed the space of exhibition, first being the defenders, and they won the first time around. Second time, they had a little bit of a shoddy hold, and they paid the price for it. It's all about who can wedge themselves in between the attackers and the site. early on gunfights. We're going to see them trying to Owen from walk-in. This is how Ash has been assuming the space. Pre-placed drones. Why you drone, ladies and gentlemen? Having it. It's a quick flick of the wrist to hop on and find out exactly where you want to be. Sinzo has assumed space. Maybe the shield op is exactly what you need to get rid of the people in exhibition. You sitting in the corner, backed up with the Goyo, and you have Warden as a 3-man commit. Not set up with the same amount of reinforcements, but put it in space where you're going to be put in a world of hurt. Flores drone allows him to just run into minibar and also discover the whereabouts of the Goyo. IQ surrounding. They find where he is. Only takes half damage. Almost able to find the pick, but you have 4 attackers, 5 attackers now committing. This is a much more committed take we've seen, and Goyo really wants to get this blitz done with. Almost takes him out completely, but leaves it to the other defenders as he's going to back up into terrace. And now Warden is the next objective to find. Early gunfights on from Atox, pushes everybody in from terrace so they can isolate the gunfights. Bunks gets one, almost gets the second, but they're both banked up now in drums, and it's a ring around the rosy. It's about who can mold the map to their liking, and it seems to be Atox versus Carol. Carol has a stim, just waiting for him if he can find the dock. But Rotero charges do get rid of the shield, and now allows the attackers to advance into terrace and dragon. A minute left on the clock, and they're utilizing every single piece of utility possible, and that's how you play the game. 5-man commit to exhibition is the reason they got that room done so fast. Camera is still up, but Rotero charges do get rid of the Malusis, the shield, and the backup cameras that were placed down by Carol. C4 lineup is 2 easy kills here if he can land it. It lands far. It gets the guy close, but doesn't get the guy far. Almost gets 2. Carol, Atox, refrags. It's not looking too great here, and it's a boom to the head for the defenders. Aspire, they take it. Wow, that was crucial on just time. That C4 just reignited the action needed to be able to win the round. And that's Aspire looking like themselves again. They haven't given it up completely, and now they've taken it to 4-3. Moving on to our next round, we're going to go into exhibition. We might see a rush plant go on here. We see the Amaru coming in from Tom. It could just be a mistake play, or it could be something that's absolutely crucial to pushing in. We're going to see 2 softs. They're going to keep the geisha wall completely open now that the thermite cannot collateral the wall to be able to just walk in. And that's beautiful display of how to play. You could either bandit it off and sacrifice even more utility, or just break the whole thing and don't hold the room at all. All quiet on the western front. Not too much to talk about right now, except for the IQ that's completely in black. And we're going to see a Goyo gunfight alongside with this IQ. Nice and fast. Which has the pistol out with her scanner, so there's no need to get too aggressive. But the Dokubi is the one to find the gunfights. Is located. Does know the spot of Bunks. And will run away because that DMR is 2 shots to the chest to be able to go down. And it is going to be a round of twinkle toes. And Dokubi is going to be going straight for it. Almost gets her head taken off again. It's just a quick peek. Demons versus Pixels. And to look on the other sides of the map, we've seen Atox go down from black. Banks does take a damage hit from that DMR, and the C4 is no longer with us. Moving on in, Yasuke is the main droner to find things going. He gets the T-room breach open, and now Clay, again, on double digits for the second game in a row. I'm pretty sure he's sitting at 27 kills total now, is put where he just needs to drone and get the things done. Clearing house would be a massive, massive role in getting this site to themselves, but they already have the man advantage, and all that is needed to be done is just win the gunfights. But Clay landing damage, making himself known, and Atox needs to clear the man sitting minibar. I don't think they know. Frag grenade is going to make him confirmed, and Warden put in a position where he has to swing out into it. Perfect display of how to use utility 101. Second guard fight's gonna be Clay. Doesn't win it. Bunks there to take his head off. It's a 3v3. Thermite now is the last resort to find these gunfights, but Sinzo's deleting people as they just swing him in. And one behind the chassis, winning his gunfight again for 1 kill. There's another refrag, and that's a beautiful work of how to use teamwork as a display. Thermite put in a situation, he just needs to find his gunfights. Uses a smoke grenade. Atox needs to find Doc. He needs to find Doc now with the amount of stims, the ACOG, and all the value he's going to provide for the team. And guess what? The value he provides is a headshot to the Chrome Dome. And Shinji sitting close is going to be around confirm, and he goes up because that is inevitable. 4 kills, but 3 of them were absolutely crucial this round, and it's all tied up. Looks like every game's going to go near OT. We're gonna go downstairs soon enough. They're not even gonna waste their time around with exhibition. If it took the first time around, it doesn't matter for them. They're going to choose. They're not gonna dance around because they have to pick either this site or master bedroom. And I don't think anybody wants to pick master bedroom on a site where it's just absolutely horrible. The first time we're gonna see Vigil this whole game. And you know what I'm gonna do? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm gonna do while these guys set up. We're gonna crack open nice fat Red Bull. There it is. Speak of what's gonna go on. A little bit more of the emphasis on the upstairs hold with the shield on Black, completely committed to anybody trying to walk in through, but having Ram finally using her lawnmower, so it's going to be a little nice. Spire is going to be upstairs, 4 of them actually, with the one being the exception. He's not even in sight, leaving B site completely open. Verticality has the hatch open. It's a little bit of an Overwatch. Jammer affecting this clutch drone no matter where it goes in from. I think Brava surviving the ban phase was enough on its own and doesn't get the timer clicks enough to get that first default cam. And there's not a lot of utility you can hack except for the cap cans, and you need to drone out almost every door. C4 almost connects, and yes, it does. Thought he had it. I thought he had it, but he does not indeed. It's a 4v5. As Shinji lands it, he's like Kobe himself, and Ram has lost all of her lawnmowers. Only getting a substantial amount of verticality through in the window. Carol gets the next kill through Geisha, and Maverick playing the feed holes. It's main gunfights coming in through. He's just gonna drop the hatch and might be able to land a C4 here, and that's map knowledge at its finest, and he barely survives to see another day. And if he detonated, it would have been a very nice kill, but it wasn't, as Rixie deletes the person off drums. Maverick's gonna rotate over to Geisha, and now the attackers have been granted the site. Not given, they didn't give it up. They granted them just Geisha and Geisha itself. Atox does punish one off the hatch. Brava might be able to punish the second, but the refrag from Carol coming up gets 2, and that is good night, and they finally assume the lead for the first time since the first 2 rounds of the game. That's Aspire back on the board, and we're gonna move back on to the lead for Aspire. Is gonna be a back and forth series, as every game we've had has went into double digits. We move right back on. There's no difference and there's no break in the action as we move on to Tea Room. As our site, the objective rotation parameters does unlock it. This team's gonna opt out completely of holding black, and I would too. Having the rotate is overrated in my opinion. It doesn't matter. You can get spam flash from the stairs. You can get shot out from literally anywhere, and you go down no matter what you try to do. Second time around, they're going to have the shield with barbed wire on. You know, guys, we're not going to judge. We're just going to move right on. Barbed wire slapped up in Timbuktu in the middle of nowhere is going to be on the shield. Out of everywhere it could go, and not on the stairs. Nope, on the shield itself. Not going to reinforce the walls onto minibar to protect anybody from the wallbangs. They're going to have the breach in exhibition open, and they're going to have feed holes on the minibar. Kind of interested to see how this goes down. They did 5-man clear this last time, so you do need to wedge some defenders in here, or you're going to give it up. Bunks on the overhang provides that crucial amount of pressure for anybody trying to cross in through. Live pings are actually going on to Carol, and I think he's completely unaware. They want an easy gunfight, but nobody's here to capitalize. Malusi's just gonna go for a run out. Who is here to find her? Nobody. All 5 attackers are still contributing to find the exhibition 5-man. Gets one, gets the down, but not to finish the job. Tom does get a refrag, gets the shield as well, as there's no Jaegers, and he gets rid of the barbed wire that was placed there for fun, and the barbed wire that was protected by the shield as well. We did see an almost gunfight for Carol. Couldn't finish the job quite, but you're going to have Scripps take his place in Geisha as the Claymores are just going to get placed down. Rixie going for the gunfight, wins it, takes out Atox for all. A minute 30 left on the clock, and there's 2 attackers now contributing to get rid of Geisha. Yasuke gets taken off the board by Scripps at MP5. I was just looking at him, but gets taken out on the feed holes, and almost a headshot is no longer, and it's absolute mayhem again, and they're forced off. Smoke sitting close on the balcony of Terrace, and Ash trying to take care of House and Dragon at the same time, but IQ is in for a nice, pleasant surprise here. Go wide, go close, not gonna look too well. Smoke wins that gunfight, as we were just talking about it. Double kill on the board for him, and it's looking like Aspire is going to take us to a map 3 where they have a lead. Sitting close, Ash wins the gunfight. Clay gets 2. Is that lead what we were talking about? We don't want to see anybody left in a 1vx unless it's Clay. Drops 16, drops 12. It doesn't matter because all he does is win his gunfights. Makes a rotate into Geisha. Has easy transparency. Gets the cross in to drums. Scripps still thinks he's coming in from Geisha, and he would be correct. Rotates over. He has a little bit of a double angle and just baiting up the hop-ups. He needs to get something done here. And he's going to rotate into black. It's going to be a straight-on engagement if he can find the isolated gunfight. They're just running around each other. Can he clutch it? Yes, he can! That's Clay! Oh my god. He just clutched a 1v4. On the SINOTWTCH bingo checklist, Clay clutches for the 30th time to give himself double digits yet again. Haven't seen him in the last couple of rounds where Aspire went on a little bit of a powerhouse streak. They took 3 rounds in a row. We didn't see much of him. But when he's put in those crucial situations, where he's put in those situations where he needs to win, he does. We move on to the next round. An absolute mental chalk for Aspire, giving up a 1v4. We're going to move right back on exhibition because they should have won it the first time around. Five all, ladies and gentlemen. This was not what I was expecting. Man City just wins 6-0 to Ipswich. Absolutely depressing scenes. It's always a good week when Man City loses, but they don't this week. And we're going to have to hope we're going to get something in return from Aspire. Take us to map 3 on a 1-1. You're gonna have Dokkaebi just covering all this ground by herself. Again, they don't contribute, and that's what gets them to those last-minute rounds where they don't have anything going in their favor when it comes to utility. Aspire's very good at winning their gunfights, but when it comes to getting into different rooms and holding it down, it lacks in that certain situation, and that's what we saw with the exhibition hold. They gave up too much space, allowing so many drones to come in through, and Goyo has an easy kill here. All he needs to do is just wait him out. Question is, who's going to swing first? It's going to be the Warden. Now they know exactly where the axe is, but she almost gets herself killed by punching out the Goyo. Clay would have gotten blown up in yesterday, but Dokkaebi's here to assume the position and help him out a little bit. Atox. Ash gets herself out of the wedge position, and the Goyo getting popped is going to delay the push by a little bit. Runs out, all safe to call it a day. No roamers. Again, something we haven't seen as well. Roamers. Behind the drums, they hear the util. Tom trying to frag out and taking heavy amounts of damage, but frags the smoke out and goes down. Wow. Smoke contributes, and it doesn't work. That's a Dead Valor type of play. He tried to go down swinging, and he swung by a frag grenade. Goyo wins his gunfight, loses it shortly after. Atox has a wedge in the sight. Can he win his one? He isolates himself behind the brick wall, almost had it. If only they had a Finka, but it's just Clay to find a kill, because who else? He's on 30 kills total in these 2 maps. The guy's absolutely frying anybody who walks into his way, and it's Clay and Tom left to isolate the ones, with Sinzo just droning them in. Sinzo being at 100 HP is also very beneficial. He is not doing too much this game except for finding the kills and droning out. It's absolutely beautiful from him. It's scenes on how Sinzo's playing. Passionate, passive, and getting those kills. Tom loses the gunfight. HP is nothing you can do in a situation like that. Brava is called out to be in T room, left in a situation where it's 19 seconds left and you need to find the guy T room and Exhibish. It's not gonna look great. As Sinzo's in sight, can he find the first? Yes, he can. Rixie, what are you looking at as he goes down and they've given it up? 6-5 in the favor of GA. What was supposed to be the lifeline for Aspire to take it 1-1 to map 3 has turned into GA's playhouse, as Sinzo and Clay are just floating now. That is brutal. Absolutely brutal. They're going to move on to the site they've been doing so well on, but they've lost it a couple of times. Not the best site to be on the first time around when you're on match point, giving up the lead. Hopefully they have it the next time around, because this is not going to look too well if they give it up. All right, guys. As we move on into the round, again, a little bit of dead silence as Bunks does get droned out, so no spawn peek. But we do have Muzza saying Nottingham Forest, and considering I am a Liverpool fan, I want the closest moderator to ban him, because we don't support Forest here. Alanga sucks. As we move on back to Siege, we're going to have Sinzo just droning out West Gardens, trying to find it in, as Habana's already in, but getting that preemptive droning is crucial because Atox walks the first down, but it's going to be the Vigil on the flank, and that's crucial. Look behind you. There's 2 of you waiting, and he knows. He knows. Jump that drone and check the corners, because it's always good to get that preactive droning, the proactive droning, because you're going to pay the price if you don't drone out the Goyo and the Vigil just waiting for you. Could clear you off the overhang. Could just go up your back stairs. Somebody needs to drone that. Drones get sacrificed onto the overhang. Sees the first body. Where did the vigil go? Goyo's forced off the corner. Blitz has been found, and it is the time to start popping the Goyos. Don't know how those shots didn't connect to the toes, but Blitz, again, is just assuming so much positions, and you need to get this Goyo popped before you lose so much more space than you already have, because Vigil's already back in sight. Yasuke gets the second, and you've lost your main roamer. The Blitz has eaten the fire, and he's won his gunfight. Sinzo, can he find the second? That's crucial to lose. That is too crucial to lose. Walks through the flames, gets ticked off, gets hit in the feet, and still wins the gunfight. Smoke trying to swing out at a surprise. He does hit him with a surprise, but the surprise means nothing if you've lost your health and the damage. Blitz is still assuming damage. Shinji does get the lifeline. He needs to find it. Now up on the hop-up, and they're now tucked into minibar. They're both tucked into house. Clay left in a situation, finds one where can he find the second? He's up on the overhang with a shotgun, but why would you swing out into the R4C? And why when Clay's behind that R4C? And it's the second map confirmed. What is happening? That's the second map we've seen tossed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 2 straight throws. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is absolutely crucial to be able to call that a win. One last round before we see the map get confirmed, but you guys are going to have to wait until the next 5 minutes. We will be back after a short break and confer with yourselves. Grab some water, go to the bathroom, wash your face, because this might be the last map, unfortunately, because what a game. We'll be back shortly after. right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back. We're not quite in the game, but we're back. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this last game. Now, it's been absolutely beautiful. Now, we've seen both teams fight it out. We've seen Aspire come out swinging and confirm their first 2 rounds, but then they've struggled to put that final nail in the box. They haven't been able to close the coffin out, and Clay has managed to get out the coffin and drop double digits on every game he's played. It's beautiful. Question is it beautiful enough to take us next? Now, I know there's a lot of questions coming into what are the maps that have been played and what's coming up. So here, I got this little visual for you guys. So, right now we're on our 3rd map. Let's hope this shows perfectly fine. We're going to take this out of your way. So, right now, we have played 2 maps, being Skyscraper and Cafe Dostoevsky. We've seen AG or GA take it both times. Now, both times is absolutely critical, and they've managed to capitalize. Now, our 3rd map is going to be Nighthaven, and this is match point for GA unless Aspire can come out swinging. Now, this is their map pick, so hopefully they can confirm it for themselves. That is the map, and we've seen 7-5 first round and 7-5 again. So, this is going to be a bit of an interesting game, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, let's go straight in. Now, good luck, have fun to both teams. I'm going to get my fat face out of your way. Make sure to drop a follow. Check out the socials, !social, and let's take a look at the bans. First ban has been confirmed, being the Blitz is going to be taken out. Now, that is very crucial considering Sinzo has been literally deleting anybody who's walked into his way with Blitz. Now, crucial, but can it stop them from taking it home? They have 1 more game standing between them and a victory. Blackbeard being taken out. On Nighthaven, it does seem very imperative to take care of all of the shield ops. Very annoying to deal with. Vigil getting taken out as well. The boss he offers, his gun doesn't move on console. It's an operator that's a very valuable ban, but we haven't seen Miri get banned. So Aspire does have the upper hand so far. As we talk about the Mira ban, she comes in slowly after, and that makes sense because of how annoying she has to deal with, especially on defense, and you don't have shields. Why does it tab out like that? So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Upstairs, the very beloved site for Nighthaven is going to be our first round. Let me just get my OBS open, just because of how annoying it is to deal with. There we go. We are going to see 2 primary shotguns coming in from Aspire. Potentially 1 at top CC. Yes, it is. Is it going to be backed up with a OMI? No, it's not, but it does have its jammer to protect it for the round. Have a little bit of differentials here coming in through. We're going to see a double reinforce. The question is, are they going to do head hose, a jump rotate, or a crouch rotate? It's all about how players like to mold the site to their liking. Bottom garage is going to stay soft as well. All the breaches are going to get open. Very crucial to make sure nothing too bad's going on. Ace is going to land his first element breaches onto the right side of the connector wall. For some reason, my metrics are showing. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. First engagement is Tom. Lands a headshot, and that's the first kill. Second kill goes into Clay. It's gunfights all across the map. Electrical, IT, it's all falling down. 4v3, his bodies are just absolutely going down everywhere. And Banks is just somebody not to be messed with. Wins nearly most of his gunfights. Despite being on a losing team, he's doing pretty well. Yasuke takes him out. Talking about most of the gunfights doesn't mean all of them. 2 for Yasuke as he's deep in his sight, and it's an easy plant. Pop the Goyos and get it done, but not needed if Tom is here to clear out the round. And the first is an absolute run of the show, run amok from GA. And it seems like they're getting a bit toxic now as they are starting to shoot bodies. Now, I have no idea why my game's being annoying. I don't know why my metrics are on completely. Well, it does look better with full screen to get more frames, but I do need to switch. Oh, it gets capped. Ah, that's stupid. Oh, no. Yeah, it does get capped. Well, I guess we're going to have to tab out for the graphics. Moving on to the next round, we're going to see downstairs, and we're probably going to see the main thing that is so different is usually popping the hatch and then playing garage, but it's not something we're going to see for Aspire, and that might lead to them losing the round. Having this hatch is very, very bad. Having it reinforced is not usually the best of ideas, because once you lose it, if you do lose it, is usually an absolute nightmare for the defenders to recover from. A little bit of dissatisfaction coming in from the chat as they are sad that Aspire is throwing their lead. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be too. We've seen them throw straight rounds. Seeing Bandit on the roam's a little different with a shock wire in the pocket. But first engagement's going to be with the Ram. It goes down, it'll be crucial, but who else? You cannot contest this guy. Clay has his R4C, and that just means it gives him instant wall hacks. Check his setup. Bandit nowhere to be found allows the breach to get opened up with no verticality to worry about, as we've gotten rid of one roamer, and now there's one more to worry about if he can't safely get back to site. First call does get sent out. There's nobody roaming, and Ella has to go back down. She was just soft roaming, but it doesn't really count. Drones are still running amok. There's still a bunch of them left open, and by a bunch I mean 5 directly. Drone economy is getting ruined. Make that 6. 4 drones left, and a minute 20 seconds onto the round. Having a body down is very bad for the defenders, but also having a body, and now it's all even. Taking out one of the fraggers, Sinzo goes down, and also ruining the drones is absolutely crucial. Rixie running amok now, winning the gunfight and taking out Clay. 2 fraggers have now been executed, and say goodbye to the case. As Thatcher's gonna go down, close with a shotgun, and the hatch is gonna stay closed. GA, what just happened? You had it all going for you, and you completely forgot what happens when you swing people with shotguns, and manages to get a consolidation kill, but it's no bueno as Ella's still upstairs. You don't have the case and you're 20 HP on the clock. 40 seconds left. One sitting close, and he's gonna punish you as you see him in the corner of your eyes, but you can't react fast enough. 1-all. it's such a 50-50 game, but it still looks so decisive when it comes to those last-minute executes. GA just wins gunfights, and Aspire knows how to capitalize and mold the map to their liking, potentially why this is their map. Running amok, we're going to see a little bit late to the setup. We saw Aspire get punished crucially for taking gunfights in the long meeting hall, but it is everything to learn from. And the roster is already looking better as they have incorporated the Azami now, which is a little newer, but Ashley's on the board, which is absolutely crucial. We're going to see Carol opt out of using Warden, so there's no CC hold, and it's still going to get barricaded, but this whole hall is up for grabs now as there's no shield and no jammer to deny it. First Goyo gets popped up fairly early into the round. Early wallbang actually almost claims the life of the Goyo unless that wall is reinforced. It isn't. Goyo almost just lost his life off a lucky wallbang, and we're going to see Kaid rotate back into sight and reinforce it off because he just doesn't want to deal with losing so much space so fast. And he's going to commit a claw to it as well. Asking Carol to come over and get a shock wire down. Ace is going to open up the connector breach, and the call does go out that there is the wall, and it's completely open. Goyo sitting close and does swing out into it. Why swing out on a complete wide breach? Nobody knows, but Bunks gets punished. Shortly after, Yasuke does get the control of the breach. 20 HP. Not the greatest of situations to be in, but he's relaxed now. Double Claymore setup does go in, so if you shoot one, the second one blows up in your face. With the recent nerfs of it going off instantly after it touches the lasers, it'll be an interesting sight to see how somebody will want to flank. All sight roamers are back, and it's going to be a main commit to try to get things done. Carol going for an easy swing, an easy contest. Your teammate doesn't have your back there, and you pay the price. Double kill for Carol. And it's again just an absolute toss on the bodies. You got the first pick, but what happened? Absolute tomfoolery. 3 attackers are committed to watching IT, but Carol is on the ground. Do they know this is the question? Shinzo right behind him, and it's again not the best of ideas to all be bunched up, and they know this. 2 C4s, 3 C4s make that. Anybody gets close, the first one gets used. Impacts get used, they just want to keep him out. Impact does land, actually, and it's going to be gunfights because something needs to go on here. Shinzo needs to make magic happen, and Azami is seeing her head. Bandit is on the ground. What are you doing, Thatcher? Your teammate just contributed to your death, and Scripps will take you off the board as you tried to swing in, but it was no bueno. And what is going on? Aspire looking completely reformed from the last 2 maps. Absolute scenes here for Aspire, and they're bringing it back. We move on to the mid floor. This is possibly one of the best sites if you can hold it proper. If you can't, you get yourself into a little bit of a deadlock where you cannot find any of the advantages, and it does seem like they know what they're doing as they go instantly upstairs to hold off the walls. That will make them pay later in the future. Garage already gets castled or gets reinforced off, and castle is going to be brought to get the windows indeed. Moving on in, we're going to go up to the A site, and this is going to be a question of how fast can you get the walls open and find those damn Goyo canisters. Garage is going to be held up by the integrity of one Goyo canister, and I'm going to guess a castle. Breach seems to be getting opened very soon. One gets open, and the second is going to be completely covered by the verticality. Nothing on it yet, but they do know there's a bandit there indeed. Can they get this window open and play vert on it is the question. Is he going to be able to get that in time? Yes, he is. If he stayed on that breach, it would have been an easy kill, but he actually went up and outplayed Carol off the outplay. A little bit of outplayception here as Ace is going to try to walk down Cargo, look for a body, but there's nobody within like 50 meters of him as Castle backs up to an easy kill. But guess what? It's Castle off. Second engagement is going to be nice and early here. Legion trying to fire shots at the Garage, but Goyo versus the Brava is going to be very preemptive here. And will Goyo win the second gunfight? No, he won't. He can get the guy in Cargo, but he can't get the second. Legion versus Brava on the second, sitting behind. Can he win it? No, he can't. He's going to back up in the Garage. It's a smart preemptive move. It's reactive, and Rixie gets deleted. Legion is now backed up into the site alongside with the Castle, and they know exactly where he is as Sinzo takes him out from the back. And what was seeming so well for Aspire crumbles on one of the hardest sites to hold down if not properly coordinated. Moving on to the next round, we're going to go right back downstairs. They had a beautiful time holding this. They did it perfectly. The question is, can they hold on to the lead? Because they showed us why they were here, but we've also seen them win 2 rounds and then absolutely shit the bed from then on after. It's 2-2. It's a perfect position on defense, but you need to capitalize. You have 2 more rounds you could potentially take, and it's crucial you take them both because you don't want to be going on to Nighthaven attack down rounds. Going to see one roamer as of now, and Ella's just going to be ratting all the way upstairs. Early kill almost lands on from... Are they both using the PGW from Atox onto that Cargo window? Ella now knows exactly the operators that have been brought. So, we're in a position where players are locating for one roamer. They got punished by the Ella roaming last time, and they were getting punished by the people with a shotgun. It does seem like they were going to go for the tradition play where you just push in the backside, now excluding the fact that you just don't have Monty. Meaning, you need to clear EXO and you need to commit to finding these roamers. JackalTrax are proactive in finding the roamers as he's going to go back to site, but they're completely unaware that there's an Ella. Ella makes these cargo stairs work in a way that nobody else can. Walks up, walks down like there's no tomorrow. And we're going to see a first gunfight here if somebody can just isolate her, find her, and win the gunfight. Ella, still soft roaming, is going to be a problem to deal with, and Jackal's going to push her down eventually, but the stun grenade from her Grismont does slow it down. Still going to be Cargo, and there's a hold. You need to get Claymores or some type of vert down, and the vert is landed to force her back into sight, and that's how you play the game. She's fully cleared, but you still have to worry about the other Grismonts, the Ella, the Valk, and everybody else. You're having such a hard time clearing the roamers, and they're making you run amok. Capitalizing Carol on the cams. That's what he gets for trying to play safe, apparently. And he gets taken out. Clay on 1 HP. Apparently, the F2 doesn't give him the same powers as the R4C does, and he's going to struggle at 1 HP for the rest of the round. 1 impact from the ground, that's the Ella, and it's going to be his days over. No man is going to be outside the breach as they know they need to find a kill. Pre-play C4 does not connect and it's no bueno, but you still have the second chance as Ella has an impact. She has the chance to do some damage, which is going to go right back up to 100 HP as if nothing happened to her the first time around. Clay still at one tick to the smoke, one tick to the impact. Anything is going to get her killed, and they're going to rotate over now for a plant. Yasuke has fully rotated over, but Sinzel's gonna punish Rix. He's sitting close. That's here, gone. The person with the best element of surprise I've seen on this map is gonna go down, and it seems like the dominoes are all falling, and it's going to be a hold where you need to find these players. Doc trying to watch the cargo hold, but getting affected by the smoke. Smoke himself playing close in EXO, and it's gonna be a gunfight where somebody needs to win it. Doc is going to be trapped by himself, and Smoke's gonna go for a flank, directing the attention away from Clay, allowing him to walk down the EXO stairs, and the feed holes are gonna allow him when the smoke clears. He's gonna go down. Sinzo gets one, gets two, and that's the round on the 3-2 for GA, and rounds on attack is exactly what you need, and the pre-fire connects straight to the head. What a beautiful round from AGA. They managed to bring it back. They're displaying why they want to win. They just need one more map and it's over. They've been doing a great job of finding things, getting it done, and executing. And that's beautiful from them. Now we got to speak about, can they get tied up? If they get tied up, it's not too bad. If they get the double differential and they go on to defense, I think this might be in the books. But we don't know how Aspire attacks yet. If their attacks are better than their defenses, I do think we could potentially push to map 4. Bunks being a little bit hide. Does GA stand for Ghost Army? Why was I told it was a very long French name? Okay, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna refer to them as that because there's an Asgard player on here. Carol versus the Grim. Atox, delete him off the board. Why would you contest? 40 seconds in, and the person to Cade, and the person to assist the Cade, and the person to Bandit Trick has now been erased. No longer in existence, and he loses the C4 as well. That's crucial. Bunks is downstairs, looking to find a kill here. Now, being a roamer in a site where there's not too much to flank, either being meeting, CC, or garage, does seem like a lot to you, but when you lose the bodies in sight, that's when you need to start panicking. Considering how fast GA can actually walk in, it's crucial. Not droning out the frost mat. C4 is not going to connect him, but he's going to waste it and go for it anyways. Grim goes down with 2 of the Bs in his pocket. Yasuke goes down shortly after onto the chassis, and Bonks gets a frag as well. What is going on, and why has this game been an absolute Call of Duty map for the last 2 minutes? Cade, the Claw, does not get up in time to be able to land the shots, and every single body is what we're seeing here. Last one's going to be in garage, and we're going to see that early interaction here, but right now, Goyo and Mozzie totem polling to make sure nobody can take him care. And we're gonna have the Goyo sitting close, one sitting wide. Aspire, Scripps takes the head off the breach, and it's going to be all 4 defenders committed to either 2 of the 4 doors. And Shinji will be the one to confirm the round. They've tied it up all fair and square as they're gonna switch on to attack and defense. We move into the next round. We're going to see the same exact hole. all of the operators are almost identical, except now we're going to see the Warden subbed in for the Kaid, and the Bandit is going to be subbed out for the Mute. 1C4 instead of the traditional 3 from GA, or Ghost Army, apparently. Let's see how they're going to play it out. Apparently Goyo is the most loved fragger, because whoever ops on Goyo apparently locks in and gets kills, but not for Clay. He plays any operator and makes it look like it's Bolo. Giving up again, connector very fast, not a breach, not too many people want to hold. Allowing the operators to just walk in. Jammer will protect it for now as long as there's no EMP to take care of it. 2 EMPs coming in from the Grim, and the Thatcher himself will keep this wall closed for no longer than a minute, I would say. Pre-plays drone, how the hell did it get up there? Watches the overlook of the room, allowing it to be nice and easy. A 5-man attack, Buck playing Vert into the room. The question is, who can win this engagement? Mute knows he can't give up the room, but he's getting dealt with so far through the verticality. Buck, an absolute pain in the ass to deal with. He's dealing damage and pushing them off the chassis. Grim bounces off the bees, and they land even closer trackers. And this is a beautiful play on how to push people off. That's teamwork, and there's no droners right now, and there's nobody roaming to find people to get them gone. Bunks is roaming. Atox is getting dealt with on Vert, but the man on Vert himself gets dealt with, gets a kill. Carol bunks 1-2, and you're gonna have the rest being dealt with. A little bit of a whip there, but confirms the kill, and Nook is going to rotate right back over Cargo because she knows she needs to find that kill. Rotating up for Raptors, gets absolutely deleted from the Raptors. You're gonna have the Ace sitting close on the breach, left side tucked, looking for any of the picks, but he's 5 HP. Atox fully reset after being down the first time around. 2 players in electrical, and it's going to be a better position now for GA now that their verticality person is dead. Chinji gets 1 refrag instantly by Atox. Tom gets 1, Atox on the second, and that's over. Absolute chaos, and the chaos settles, and we see GA come out on top. 3 more rounds they need to confirm before we crown them the champions of the Controller Cup. As we move on to the next round, we're going to see this basement hold. The long-awaited hold from GA. I was always curious to see how they're going to play it. Are they going to reinforce the Animus hatch, or are they going to pop it and throw a Goyo canister on the garage breach and the garage door? It's all the questions you need to ask when you have a site that'll break down to possibly the pathway to the end of the match. For some reason, I've been sitting on my other setup for like 5 minutes, but we're gonna see a striker for the first time this game. Utility is still crucial, but failed to see how he's going to help out, as he doesn't have the EMPs or the can openers needed to help out the team. First kill is Tom, who's just swinging off the windows and letting it work. Catches 1 off Cargo. Bunk's taking some damage, taking complete control of Kitchen, and we're gonna see the second gunfight here at the 2v2 here. On the 2 gunfights, Buck droning in, and Goyo getting absolutely aggressive. It's about who can win this gunfight, because that'll decide the match, and it's Bunks who lands a headshot onto a Goyo trying to run away because he knows Kitchen is open as well, but Doc is gonna come up there to look for the refrags, and it's very early on engagements. Atox is roaming as well. Don't know where he came from, but he is roaming. Hatch will be left soft. Atox gets a kill after we shortly leave him, and he's gonna go up and rotate fully around. Clay taking some damage, has a stim in the pocket, no bueno. They have a drone if this buck walks in, and it's an instant kill if he does. Not really sure what Legion was thinking there, knowing there's 3 attackers looking for him, but gets shot in the side from the long haul, and the hatch will be left soft, not even touched. Garage wall will be reinforced alongside with the garage door. Mozzie now also left in the same identical situation where the flashes are going to land. He's going to use the C4, he gets shot out of midair, and there's a triple contest to try to find him. Shot in the back again by Bunks. Can somebody clear this guy? Apparently not. R4C, the gun to talk about today. People have been absolutely gaining superpowers on this gun, as anybody who's walked into the crosshairs of one gets deleted within 5 seconds. Bandit sitting close in the hallway, unlucky. Body shot after body shot after body shot is just not something you wanted to deal with, especially on the map that's going to decide. Clay almost seeing a little replay glimpse of Skyscraper, but this time gets shut out instantly by Bunks trying to go for the refrag and doesn't be able to land that crosshair placement before he gets locked onto and taken out. 4-all. Again, it's just back and forth. We're right back downstairs, right back where we started. We saw very early gunfights. Maybe it all started in this hallway. The runaway was wasn't the stupidest thing, but it was something that really made them pay. By running away, you gave up the XO, and you gave up the bodies. Legion and Mozzie went out swinging, but not swinging hard enough. You didn't position yourself to receive the pressure from the Ash, and we're gonna see a similar hold. All they have to do is secure 3 more rounds for both teams to either send us to map 4 or send us home. Ash is already in and gets... Well, that didn't work out. That's 2 kills. 1 for Clay, 1 for Sinzo. A little bit of 2-piece action as the 3rd one gets deleted by Clay, and it's a double kill for the Asgardian. What is going on? Atox gets one on himself on the board. 3 pings onto the Warden, but does it really matter? If it's a flawless within 40 seconds, gets the pick to avoid it, but does it really matter is the question. Atox going for a gunfight, leaving it at that. Fastest round in this whole series, as it's been an absolute pain to deal with one of these guys, and it's been the name of Clay. The guy's in your way, he's in your face, and he's managed to absolutely punish you at every single time you've tried to swing. Mozzie getting tracked in off rafters, but completely unaware that there's literally 3 guys circling around him like sharks. Legion loses his gunfight, and it's starting to look possible. A minute 55, you have the case sitting right next to you, and there's a man completely off of sight who's now rotating full around. The hatch is soft, you have a shotgun, you have the ability to clutch this. Locates the Goyo, but does not locate the Mozzie. He sees the footsteps, you should know where he is, but you didn't take the proactive measures to pre-fire or swing the corner and check, and you paid the price. Atox takes you up for his confirmed double kill, and now it's edging closer to the last finale, the last stand, because that was a Call of Duty round where Aspire forgets their fundamentals, they forget how to push in, they forget where to push it from, and they pay the price dearly. Moving on, we're going to have a hold into electrical. Now, the question is, why do people just opt out and just reinforce it once they see the first struggle? Now, it's worked out. Every time we've seen defenders reinforce this wall, they've managed to win the round. The question is, what happens when you leave it open? And I think we're going to get the answer into this game because it looks like we're going to see the Goyo commit to it now. Getting his Goyos down and getting most of the utility surrounding it is going to be crucial to seeing how the teams are going to adapt to keeping this wall open. Clay just gets outplayed, doesn't even have him on a drone. Just the map knowledge of knowing where he is gets him taken out. And that is one body advantage for the attackers, allowing them to slow down and do whatever is needed. The shield is going to be protected by the Azami, so nobody in Rafters can get a lucky angle long into CC. But you're going to have to deal with the Mute Jammer. But you're going to have live Grims. Shinji gets one as well, and it's action all over the map. With one round response, you'll have the next. Grim taking full assumption control of the CC hall. Yasuke gets a long angle, takes the person off Raptors. Ram is now gone. No longer. You're going to have line creep up Raptors, assuming his position as well. You're going to have Grim on the drone, but Banks and Dokubi, both DMRs in hand, are going to be the ones coming in through. Jammer shut them out completely. Thermite coming in from electrical. One gun, two gun, three guns. Can you find the second? Yes, you can. An absolute beauty of teamwork. Triple kill. What was seeming like the absolute round was confirmed as round of doubt now, but it's a 1v1 and no C4 for the Mute, and he clutches it. An absolute roller coaster of emotions. Deals to Scripps' pleasure what he couldn't do last round. He does it this round and confirms the round to put Aspire onto the board and prevent them from going down to match point. What can you say except for this is the best grand final you're gonna get? We might not go all 5 maps, but guess what? You're gonna get guaranteed gunfights, and every single round is going to be worth it. As we edge on closer to the end, we're gonna see Bunks on the Nook shotgun now. This is a hit or miss gun. If you get caught lacked at range, you're dead instantly, and there's no chance. There's no secondary chances. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't. You're absolutely taking care of any attacker getting close to you. Now, for some reason, we're seeing a fuse pick. Now, this is either the stupidest thing we've seen, or it's gonna be the smartest. Fuse charge is going to allow anybody getting close to the breach. Gone. Cluster's getting sent in and forces nobody sitting close. Nook shoddy though. I'm very concerned to see how this is gonna work out. Outside the breach, they just want to take control of electrical, and it might be an easy round here for Aspire. They're trying to take control, and they're doing it beautifully because there's no one there to be concerned about, but the C4 throw might land here as it gets tossed, and it lands right on the head of the ace and saves the life of the fuse. Very lucky and very unfortunate at the same time. Double kill for Yasuke as he takes out Nook with that shotgun, and that's that surprise operator gone. Fuse still has the cluster charges, but I fail to see how he's gonna do that without walking into either a C4, a shotgun, or anything. But luckily for him, there's no C4s left. Goyo abandoned his post behind the pillar and is going to take a better one and then reassume it. Grim going to walk into electrical now, using his first bees, perfectly timing it with the fact that now the Goyo Vulcan fire effects have been taken out. case needing to be picked up, wasting a little bit of time, and they need to reposition because this is a faulty push. Shotgun dealing close. He'll eat the Grims if it means he'll take you off the board, and the Grims get sent back to sender. He's now gone. It's a 5v1. Is that the second flawless we're gonna see? Sitting close on the electrical window. Fuse, he's seen, he's known. He needs to go out swinging is what the Mute's task is, and the pre-fire is gonna allow him to do that. And what is going on? It's just back and forth and back and forth. But it's absolute beauty from GA when it comes to straight gunfights, and Yaski's floating. The only game you haven't seen Clay going double digits is the one where his other teammates are starting to flourish, and we go on to the match point, win this round and confirm it and call it a day, and it'll be the series over. SINOTWTCH, the first time we've seen a Solus on the board, is going to be brought for the maybe potential last sight. Solus for a team like Aspire, the one that drones and gets utility into the building faster than they get their operators. It's crucial and it's very important. You have some of those off outlier rounds that literally you're seeing 3 players flying into the garage within 5 seconds. These are the ones where you see them playing more passive, and that's usually the round where they win. If you place drones, are not going to place in the favor of the Solus. She hears them, but she can't use her ability until the round starts, so she's gonna have to be left in the dark until 5 seconds are gone. Solus checking the essential corners to find out these drones, and the first breach has been used to get that garage breach open. Three operators are committing to CC with one already being in. SINOTWTCH punishes the first by just peeking out, but Bunks has already walked in. Clay getting the refrag, but not onto Bunks himself. He takes out Shinji. That's one soft breacher, and your roam clear gets taken out. Is this the end as Tom takes out the third? It's a 4v2, and it seems like we're coming at an end, but maybe not. Carol with the lifeline takes out the person that'll take care of all of the utility. Jackal with the deadlock confirmed onto Clay. He has one more ping left, but is the ping really going to matter when you see the cluster of footsteps? I don't know what was happening here, but a cluster of footsteps and 2 of your attackers bunched up into cargo. You're left in a world where you really have to start guessing and finding the picks here. You need to get aggressive, because if you stay up, down 2 bodies, you're not going to be in the perfect position to be able to execute anything. Verticality here is going to actually completely illustrate and illuminate Yasuke out of this corner. Right now, they're illustrating the push. They're thinking of how they want to display it. But the pre-placed breach is not going to do much when you're forcing people off, because Yasuke knows what he's doing, almost getting a clip and a half, but it's ended. It's over, and it's game. Ladies and gentlemen, GG's, and it's over. It is so sadly over. What was any man's map has turned into absolute amok. Wow. It's over. And it pains me to say that. It is over. What was absolutely beautiful, I don't know why my chair's like this. What was absolutely beautiful, it comes to an end, sadly. And I wish we went to a map 5, because it would have showed the absolute passion coming in from both teams. But it is GA to call it and end it. Now, 3-0 swipe. Swiper, no swiper, as like the Americans like to call it. But without further being said, an absolute blowout leads to, I think they were called the Ghost Army. I don't know if I was getting trolled, but it's GG's to them. Congratulations on the 3 wins to give it to you. It's over, 3-0, and they've confirmed their win. They get the prize pool, and they've sent Aspire home. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Sino, and make sure to drop a follow. And this is going to go up on YouTube. If you did miss the first 2 maps, it's going to go up on it tomorrow around this time. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys later. Peace.